Outside on the corner where I caught the bus, thinking in my head it's colder than I thought it was. Sometimes life is like that, and you just quiver your lips, whisper a wish, hoping someone might give us deliverance. Now deliver this message, think I could live with this message. You could just give a few seconds to come and sit in my presence. And yes, it is so precious, yes, it is a blessing. Next, I'll attempt to express it with every heavy breath, cause just to make it worth it, and just to make it real, you always made it perfect, and that's the way I feel. Sometimes we think too much, and we lose control, but it's not what you know, no, it's who you know. Days that will not end, I'm sure you've had them too, wishing you're still in bed, and yet we have to move. This is what passion do, this is what passion does. It's on my planets too, so sending back the love. Snowflakes fell like a gift from the skies, and teardrops swelled when I lifted my eyes. And it was surely just brightness that had informed in me, while the storm in the streets was adorning the trees, and it clothed each branch with a layer of the purest snow. And this miracle was a little less than a year ago. Now summer's almost over, the weather's growing colder, approaching frozen soldiers, a Minnesota soldier. Backpack on my shoulder, days are shorter, I spend most alone. Still growing older, feeling lonesome, though I'm close to home. I'm the city bus frozen, both eyes closing, I'm the open road. My soul is swollen, though I'm holding on, and so it goes. And sometimes when it's dark, I look up at the stars, think about how small we are, but at least we have hearts, getting past my speeding cars. On these streets of ours, I want to be the cause for someone's grief to pause. Cause just to make it worth it, and just to make it real, you always made it perfect, and that's the way I feel. Sometimes we think too much, and we lose control, but it's not what you know, no, it's who you know. Days that will not end, I'm sure you've had them too, wishing you're still in bed, and yet we have to move. This is what passion do, this is what passion does. It's on my planets too, so sending back the love. Can't even get emotional, cause even though this road is negotiable, this is a road that chose, coming so low, feeling so low, when they don't know the things I'm supposed to know. But so, I know some brothers that are rolling in the same road with the same goal, and they say focus. So this focus, and you don't quit, it's a long way to go, I'ma need you to go with. I took it back with the shirt takes time, no matter what it is, yes sir, that's right. Even when you act like a dirtbag guy, the men never both will sure, that's why I keep no accounts of flaws, keep holding out for y'all. People is all we are, you know I'm down by law, cause just to make it work, and just to make it real, you always made it perfect, and that's the way I feel. Sometimes we think too much, and we lose control, but it's not what you know, no, it's who you know. Days that will not end, I'm sure you've had them too, wishing you're still in bed, and yet we have to move. This is what passion do, this is what passion does. It's on my planets too, so sending back the love, cause just to make it worth it, and just to make it real, you always made it perfect, and that's the way you feel. Sometimes we think too much, and we lose control, so it's all this for all of the fools we know.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect, back with you once again. After doing a little bit of streaming of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I might do some tonight, but who knows? It's going to be a very interesting time. I just want to make sure we're doing good and doing everything right. Got the Audacity going. We got the stuff going. Okay, we're looking good. All right, and let's go back to share screen so they can make sure everything's all right. Because we're talking a little bit about CM Punk. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. CM Punk returned AEW, ladies and gentlemen, he returned, and it is. Some people are surprised. I was. I thought he would be back. Probably his injury seemed to be that he would be gone until maybe around after All Out, and after he would return on All Out. I thought he was going to be returned and All Out, though. That was my thing. I thought that was going to be the case. You know, but hmm. But any um anyway, CM Punk returned on this after a very good Dynamite. You had some good matches, some good moments. Everything is building up to All Out. You got, I think the only one match confirmed is Eddie Kingston versus Sammy Guevara. And I think this will be confirmed as well. Punk and Moxley for the AEW, for the true, real AEW World Championship. Uh, but yeah, I was, I thought he was gonna be gone for at least another couple more weeks, but he looks fine. He can, move and put some pressure on the foot. Hopefully he will be medically cleared. That means he can be that champion and hopefully have that good run. I don't know how long that run's going to be, but it looks like it's going to be a very, very interesting you know I think it's going to be very interesting to see what type of run he is going to have and his challengers and such, because there are people getting back from injury and some did. I mean, some are back on the cell for a while. Chris Statlander, she's out for a while, which sucks. I thought she was going to be a really good challenger to win the TBS championship, but or the AEW World title. I hate the fact that she's gone. She's one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW. Hopefully she comes back 100%. Uh, but there are people getting back from injury. Penelope Ford's coming back, and not just CM Punk. I think Aleister Black looks like he might be coming back into the ring really soon, and it looks like he's going to be. He's looks like he can. Because he had back issues, but now it looks like they found out the back issues and everything. Let me just see if I can get to it. Let's see. I think there was all right, let me just see Google, because there was something here. Let me just check, because I know let's see. Let's see. Malachi. Let's see. Yeah, right here. Let me just. That was not Alistair. It was Malachi. All right. Uh huh. You see, right. Let me just stop sharing here. This is what I'm talking about. I found it. I found the article right here, and he said, right here, he on his TikTok yesterday, Black shared about an injury that until recently he thought might force him to retire at age 37. So about 3 months ago, I was dealing with a back injury. I was convinced was going to force me to retirement. But after a little year of treatment that went from working to complete failure on several occasions, we suddenly hit the correct vertebrae during a dry needling session, and everything released. From there, we were able to rehab and strengthen. You can check video 2 for this horrific view of my personal reaction to it. However, allowing me now a few months later to slowly move back into deadlifting and a few compound moves. And yeah, it's yeah, but it looks like he's coming back. He's looking like to be 100% soon. I mean, but working soon. Like I said, CM Punk and rumors. Let me just see. Let's see. Um, Kenny Omega might be. Here, let me see. Wrestle Inc. Let me just put this up here. I always want to get the articles and everything else lined up for y'all right there, right here. Boom, for you and everyone else here watching. Let me just say here. The injury bug, I said, because you got Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, CM Punk, and Kenny Omega. Punk had to be forced to relinquish the AEW title. Danielson has come back. He's losing to Daniel Garcia, but yet I honestly wish the 2 out of 3 falls match should have happened at All Out. I would have saved that for All Out and build up like, is he going to come back, not come back? All Out should be the 2 out of 3 falls match, personally. That's what I feel. But anyway, CM Punk recently appeared on Dynamite. Looks like he's going to be at All Out. It's going to be really good. Punk, and then you have rumors that Omega is coming for in-ring return. And it's like Punk is still rehabbing, and his repair foot is that he's still in pain. As a few weeks ago, a couple weeks, and then he said he won't wrestle until All Out. And as for Kenny Omega, PW Insider notes it's very likely Omega will be the mystery partner of the Young Bucks in the upcoming tournament to crown the inaugural AEW Trios Championships. The report will not confirm if Omega is the third man. None of the viewers will find out on Dynamite next Wednesday. Young Bucks with a mystery partner are set to face Dragon Lee, Andrade El Idolo, and Roosh. Omega previously held a never openweight 6-man tag champions alongside the Bucks twice. If Punk and Omega return to the ring, it will be a definite boost for AEW programming, which will be very interesting. I can't wait to see. That looks really good. It looks like it's going to be who knows? Personally, I don't know why the Young Bucks got so angry and everything else. We can't find a partner. Brandon Cutler's right there, dog. I don't know why, man. But yeah, but it looks like the injuries are slowly getting better they're slowly getting better. You know? It's that type of that's what's going to be a little bit more, there's going to be more healthy guys there, and hopefully some more healthy people for the, men and women's roster. I hope everyone, this could be something great for AEW and leading towards All Out and, Grand Slam, which I am going to be there, because I saw the greatness that was the Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson match. Hopefully we'll get to see some good stuff too. And hopefully I'm going to be going to the DC show. I'm going to see that. So I think it's going to be a really interesting time because Kenny Omega is going to be ring rust if he returns. It might be a little too. And I honestly think. So I think I saw Ryan Zane's video about the review of Dynamite and said Kenny Omega and CM Punk returning like week both of them is a little too much. Too much, they'll say. And I think that is true. Part of me wishes that the Young Bucks stuff would have been, you could have lead into it. I don't think the Undisputed Elite should have returned until like all this stuff, like when they're healthy, and then do the breakup stuff because they're not ready to fight. And I think that CM Punk, I think the Kenny Omega stuff and the Elite should be like an All Out, but I think they should have done this like, maybe have Kenny Omega return it All Out or something and let it breathe a bit. But I don't know. It's like they're rushing a bit. I could be wrong. It could be wrong, but I can see some people looking towards that, like it's a little bit of rushing Kenny Omega. But if it does, if people want to see that, and it probably it's not going to hurt AEW too much. But if Kenny Omega returns, and I think he will soon, it will be something really fun and really something that will probably be good for All Out. But if the House of Black, if Malachi Black and his crew is ready to go, I should let them win the Trios Championship. Have the Black Miss hit like Matt or whatever, so he can maybe we don't know what type of stuff that Black missed that changes everyone. That's what you need to do, and then have them win, which I have no issue with the House of Black holding the trios titles for a while. No problem with that. But that's just my personal opinion. I think CM Punk and Kenny Omega returning is good overall. I think this is going to help AEW get team momentum because, again, WWE's getting back there. I mean, even though they have their injuries issues, they got Cody Rhodes. That's out. Riddle is, I think he's supposed to be out. I don't know. You got Randy Orton who's out. You have, Becky Lynch who's out. You got, there's a lot of not really challengers to Roman Reigns' big championship stuff. And now, at least they have Bayley coming back, who's 100% with Dakota Kai and Io Sarai or Io Sky or whatever. You could build all that up. That's good. There is something there. They're getting involved for injury as well. So I think there's going to be a lot more interesting times in WWE and in AEW post-haste. My personal opinion. I think there's going to be some good stuff there. Anyway, we're going to take a small little break from that. And when I return, we're going to be talking a bit about some streaming news, and trust me, there's a lot of streaming stuff that's going to be coming up soon about with DisneyPlus and Hulu and everything. I'll be talking about that after this nice little musical break here live on the Dukect Lounge here on TalkShoe.com and on YouTube as well. Be right back right after this. I hope everyone is feeling good tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for listening to me, Duke CT, here live on the Duke CT Lounge. And, well, looks like the streaming wars have been it's getting a little more pricier. And it's just right here. This is a couple just yesterday. The Verge, DisneyPlus, and Hulu are getting steep pricing and such. It's like they're raising the price to DisneyPlus to $11, like 11, like 15 a month. That will come up to annually. I think with premium no ads, it's like could be $14. I think the basic the premium is going to be $11 with no ads, and that's going to be like $109 a year. Basic, yeah, with ads, $9.99, and annual $99. UFC pay-per-view, $74, and annual not available right here, $124. Wow. And by the way, here's the bundle plan. Legacy and premium is going to be $20. And that's going to be probably, let me just check, $20. All right. Hold on. Let me just get my old calculator. Let me just let's see. Calculator. All right. Okay. It's gonna be what, $20, and let's see, 20. Let's see, times. Let's see, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like $21.50. It's gonna be it's gonna cost a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a cost. So it's going to be very interesting to see people are they going to justify these huge prices, these huge price hikes? Are they going to go for the ads and such? Because I think that's one of the main problems of going to these. Yeah, this is one thing, not but the one thing that people wanted to leave is the ads. They hated ads. They didn't like ads, and they just like, okay, let's watch something and streaming and just go for it. No ads. Now, same thing with HBO Max, same thing with Netflix, same thing with all these other companies, and everything. All these things are now pricing up, and the reason why they're all these things is because they realize that streaming is not the price of gold that these these corporations thought. Disney thought it was going to be it. Netflix, like I said last week, I talked about this last week. I talked about all of this last week, and seeing how the prices and the subscribers going down. Netflix lost subscribers, a ton of subscribers. Peacock only got 13 million pay for subscribers. Again, let me just look at this. Let's see, and then they continue to lose money. Right now, let's see. Let's see. 9 million. Let's see. Gen Z is no. Don't know. Oh yeah, this is not looking good. By the way, let me just look here. We're gonna say this is Zipper, by the way. Let's see. By the way, if y'all want to come into the show, go right ahead, say something. The chat room is always on lock here and on TalkShoe. Anyway, let me just start sharing here, and there it is. Look at this. 28 million active accounts, $78 million. Only got 9 million. It's higher than Discovery Disney Plus, but again, look like by generations, this is really bad. You see, Gen Z, Millennials, Gen X, and Baby Boomers are like they're like to describe. And like to describe is like not even close to like 15%. They never reach a 15%. Unlikely to subscribe is like 48%, 64, 58, and 67. And then don't know, the most people who don't know, the people who are most plugged in to it, Gen Z, they don't know about Peacock. 42% majority don't know Peacock even exists. That is messed up, man. It's 20%. Yeah, they 75,000 in 4K streaming, yada yada yada. Yeah, it's 20 million active accounts, but they don't really, again, not really paid or anything else. They're not even revenue rise 0.1 billion. 3 million paid subscribers. They have 30 million to 35 active users. How many of them are going to be paid subscribers? That's what's going to be the question. And I'm looking here. Let me just stop here. Again, I want to see how many paid subscribers they have. They don't have much. Like I said, 13 million. And they got a lot of people who are, that's the real problem is, when you have only, like I said, they have right now, let me just put this up here. Peacock has, let me just say this again. Look at that Peacock. 13 million paid subscribers and 28 million active US accounts. That's right there, 13 million. And the total, exactly, that's nice. Active accounts, that's nice. But they don't have, again, looking where they are. And the majority of the US-based subscription stuff is looking at it, of recently reporting Netflix, Disney, Paramount, Discovery, Lionsgate. You have reaching a mother metric 4.51. They're just not looking. Yeah, HBO Max has their stuff. Peacock, Prime Video, all these other things. Just they have only like streamers that have report any metric. By the way, Apple TV. That to me is like they are not as doing good as they say they are. How many people are actually subscribing to these places, and are they even being like they are just so? The only people I see being successful are who are doing this. I mean, the only one I see is Prime Video because again, you don't only get video and the stuff like TV show stuff. You get actual some of Amazon. You get other stuff on Amazon. You get like stuff that is half off or more deals to buy, all the stuff like TVs, clothes, all the stuff right there on Amazon. You get extra stuff where you get the Prime Video. You get extra, there's other things you can get with Amazon. Other things. Then what can you get with Disney Plus? There's not much tangible stuff. You only remember I know that DC Universe, that bad play. I loved it. And there was a good community of people there. You could buy stuff on it, but it was not really I think it was a bad idea to do that stuff. I think it was too much. It was spread too often and everything else. But yeah, when you look at these like major stuff and major, major things here, just go here. I don't know what you can do to really. I mean, like I said, there's a reason why they're doing all these stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason why they are doing these. They're adding more money to it because they realize, like I said, looking at the Disney Plus right here, seeing here right here, look at it. That by December there is going to be Disney Plus, Hulu, and all these places. They're going to raise prices. And the sad part is some of these price stuff hikes will probably be a lot cheaper than cable and all this other stuff. So, but it is people are gonna be looking at their wall and say, "Hey, what the heck? This costs too much money." They're gonna go right back to the ads, and a lot of people are gonna be like, "Hey, I hate ads," and they don't want to do it. They might actually start, donning a pirate hat and everything, even though all the issues with that as well. So, I don't know what the solution is going to be. Because once you see these problems and you see these situations like this, that they're raising money off, it does go back to, it goes right to, when you look what happened to downfall of Netflix, you look at these, these big, the streaming companies, they realized it's not working out for them. It's not working out for them because, they looked at the pandemic and thought that was going to be the permanent fixture. It wasn't. There are 8 million new subscribers to Disney Plus. Then Netflix announced a decrease, first time in a decade, and all these other things. They're going to have around 250 million and 245 million subscribers instead of its previous prediction of 230 to 260 million. All these other things. So they are looking at sports betting, doing things and more interactive stuff. So I think that's what's going to be the case here. And and honestly, and it's funny. Let's see. And also let me just see. By the way, here's the real messed up. Remember when Netflix games and everything else where they were saying, "Oh, Netflix have these games and all this other stuff." They have the gaming division. I talked about that like a couple months ago. Oh, get this out here. Nobody's playing them. No one cares about the games they have. It's been exactly. It's been 2 years since Netflix began its push into gaming, and no one even cares about the titles. You are basically 1% of their entire, customer base. I mean, yeah, 1% of their customer base. Like, oh, Netflix has video games. Really? No one. I mean, even after all these other I didn't see much marketing and such. And when you have Amazon and Google, they tried to do it, Stadia, and I think Amazon had MMORPG stuff, which bombed. And then you have Google Stadia, which just didn't work at all. And now you have this, no one really knows or cares about the stuff here, about Netflix and everything. What are people caring about the video games? This area and such of Netflix, they're trying to be more interactive with their customers. Yet the majority of the customers don't want games. They don't want, all these other stuff. They want, um, you know, they don't. I mean, honestly, they want stuff on the screen, and no one cares about the gaming, which is a shame because these games are really. I heard they're decent, but overall, no one really is caring about the games. No one actually sits and talks about. I don't hear anyone talking about the games that Netflix has, and I wouldn't be surprised if that the games and all the things that are playing will go down the toilet because they're like we're wasting resources on this pretty much a DOA project. So the Netflix gaming enterprise will be like a grand opening, grand closing. Well, in 6 months, people, I wouldn't say months or less. I think it's going to be less. You will hear that Netflix has closed its gaming division, and most people are going to be like, "It had a gaming division?" Yeah. Personally, I know it sucks losing any division or anything, but I'd rather have the gaming division, than gets cut down or taken out than the animation division at Netflix because they're so many good ideas, so many interesting titles are just were forgotten about because of that. So I hopefully Netflix will do so. I think Netflix will get back on track of making good content, interesting content, and making things where people actually will not only buy this service but also keep them around. Because right now I don't see anything right now. I mean, maybe I need to watch The Gray Man. I heard some good things, but overall, I'm not really like. I just like Netflix. It's okay. It's there. I mean, it's not nothing. I never really sat and binge watch anything on Netflix other than the terrible Resident Evil series. And yeah, like I said, terrible. I need to do a review on that soon. But yeah, overall, it is a just terrible. Uh, like I said, it's Netflix and all of these new story. Just look at the stuff that doesn't really excite people. And right now, I mean, what's the big thing is supposed to be coming out? It's like the Lord of the Rings stuff from Amazon, which spent majority of like a small GDP of basically a mid-sized country for it to do and everything. And even if it bombs, which at this point it could or couldn't do, it doesn't matter to them because they just can make it back because hey, they sell stuff too. So yeah, Amazon, they can't really have a flop that's going to hurt them. Amazon can't be hurt. I think that's the one company that is legitimately too big to fail. I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. They actually might just say, I would not be surprised if screw it, they just bought like Warner Brothers or whatever, or just bought like the rest of Batgirl and said, "Fuck it, we'll do it." Like we'll buy the DC universe and have all it just stream on Amazon and such, and buy all the theaters because we Jeff Bezos has just the unlimited money making. They already got MGM. Why not complete the set and get the rest of it? I think Turner and all that stuff, and just buy Warner Brothers, which I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did so. Wouldn't be surprised. But that's my thing. I think, like I said, the stream is. I think the streaming though. The only one I think is coming ahead is Amazon because again they sell a different product, and the ones that do sell trying to sell a different product like Netflix gaming, no one knows about it and no one cares, and their own audience wouldn't even wonder if they promote it because they only want one thing from Netflix, and that is streaming service. You know, That's what it is. And right now, majority of them are just majority of the IPs and everything else is on these different streaming services, BritBox, Disney Plus, Apple TV, HBO Max, you know, Hulu, all of these stuff. So believe me, the I think these streaming wars are going to get more expensive again on, and I think that Dave Zasloff, who's probably in a lot more hot water, who knows? It's Twitter. A lot of people say, "Oh, he's got to be fired." All this, I'm like, it's Twitter. Twitter's not real. All right, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe he's on his last days, or maybe he's doing just fine. You know, people said Bob Chapek was going to get fired, but he's still goddamn here. So people need to calm down on that stuff. Calm down. But I think he might be right on this way of basically starting cutting these movies and everything because they're not, they're not going to be, they're not going to make any money for you. They're not going to be for the studio and everything. I mean, I look at something like Prey, for example, on Hulu, and I'm like, honestly, why couldn't that be in theaters? I mean, honestly, it's a tightly focused movie you could put on the theater and Blu-ray, or DVD or whatever. And the worst thing about it is that if you don't have a good I mean, the internet here is fine, but it did stumble a bit. The internet stumbled a bit while me and my dad was watching it, so there is that type of an issue too. Because if you don't get a strong internet or you're stuck with a crappy internet, you're not. I don't care what type of good like ratings or anything else. Well, guess what? You're not going to be able to watch it. It's done. And it's like well, if you don't have strong internet, sorry, we're not going to sell a DVD. So no refunds. Hey, but hopefully, my thing is that maybe what Dave Zavlov is doing, maybe go back to theatrical or more physical stuff. They can actually have people at least somewhat of a chance to watch this stuff, or people could just pirate it and just rip it from the computers and just download it and just put it on the blank disc and watch the season that way. Wouldn't be surprised if that happened to like She-Hulk or Miss Marvel or whatever. That stuff, man. It sucks, but it is what it is at this point. And now we have these steep prices, and I think that's going to be more or less subscribers as well. So it's going to be a very interesting time in the world of streaming. Anyway, we're going to take a small little break, and then we are going to be talking about some more issues about streaming and everything. This time in the world of video games. We'll be right back right after this here live on the Dukect Lounge, live on TalkShoe and on YouTube. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's me, Dukect T, back with you once again. We're now with the last story tonight, and is, well, keeping the streaming theme. Microsoft claims Sony pays for blocking rights to keep games off of Xbox Game Pass. Huge claim, and let's see if it actually is true, not or whatever else, but it's interesting. Um, As Microsoft has claimed, Sony pays for blocking rights to stop developers from adding their content to Xbox Game Pass. These sorts of claims are part of documents filed with the Brazil's national competition regulator and part of a review of Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Microsoft's ability to continue expanding Game Pass has been hampered by Sony's desire to inhibit such growth, claims Microsoft in an August 9th filing to the Administrative Council for Economic Defense, CADE, as translated from Portuguese. Sony pays for blocking rights to prevent developers from adding content to Game Pass and other competing subscription services. Does that mean Sony is evil and Microsoft is casually out here revealing some dastardly business practices? The reality is a lot more complicated on both sides. Sony could be simply be paying for exclusive rights for its streaming services, or it may have clauses in some publishing contracts that prevent some games it publishes from being published on rival subscription services. It's not clear what exactly Microsoft is referring to here, but contracts for published games can be complex, particularly when rights for streaming and subscription services are involved. Documents filed in the Epic Games versus Apple trial last year revealed Microsoft had been considering lowering the revenue split for PC games in exchange for the grant of streaming rights to Microsoft. If Microsoft had proceeded with its plans, that could have led to companies securing exclusive streaming rights on some games, preventing them from being available on rival streaming services. It all depends on how publishing contracts are written. And both Microsoft and Sony regularly secure game executives that involve time releases, console exclusivity, and lots of marketing dollars. Microsoft is attempting to convince Brazil's CADE regulator that it should raid through the company's proposed acquisition of Microsoft Blizzard for $68.7 billion, while the Federal Trade Commission is analyzing documents from Microsoft on its acquisition in the U.S. That correspondence is private. That's not the case in Brazil, where its competition regulator offers up public documents that provide unique insight into the business competition between Microsoft and Sony. Documents from Brazil's CADE have been analyzed by Xbox and PlayStation fans over the past week, with posters of Reset Era highlighting the juicy parts. Reset Era, why hasn't that message board died yet? Ugh. The regulator has been asking Sony and other Microsoft rivals about the Activision Blizzard acquisition. Sony previously responded to Brazil's regulator, claiming that it will be difficult for other developers to create a franchise that rivals Activision's Call of Duty and that stands out as a gaming category on its own. Naturally, Microsoft disagrees, and Ubisoft, Riot Games, Mega, Namco, and Google have all highlighted competition to Call of Duty in the form of Apex Legends, Battlefield, PUBG, and more. Microsoft also claims that adding Activision Blizzard to the Xbox Game Pass will actually increase competition somehow. The inclusion of Activision Blizzard content in Game Pass does not impair the ability of other players to compete in the digital game distribution market, claims Microsoft in one document, where the company also argues it increases the competition thanks to highly quality content at lower immediate costs. Sony hasn't responded to this particular point yet, but at 10, 15 a month for Xbox Game Pass, it's easy to imagine customers picking that option to play titles like Call of Duty instead of paying $60 or more to purchase and own the game. Microsoft also argues that not distributing games like Call of Duty at rival console stores would simply not be profitable for the company. Microsoft has previously made it clear it will keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Microsoft said its strategy of not distributing Activision Blizzard games on rival consoles will only be profitable if the games could attract a high number of players over to the Xbox ecosystem, resulting in revenue to compensate for their losses for not selling these titles on rival consoles. Whether Microsoft claims about blocking rights are accurate, it wouldn't be the first time Sony has used financial incentives to block game developers. Sony held back PS4 cross-platform play for years and implemented a cross-play revenue share for publishers that wanted to enable cross-play in their games. Sony's cross-platform revenue share forced publishers to pay Sony a royalty whenever PlayStation players contributed more than a certain percentage to the bottom line of a cross-platform game to offset the reduction in revenue from Sony enabling crossplay. Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney testified last year that Sony was the only platform holder that required this compensation for crossplay. We reached out for Sony to comment on Microsoft claims and to Microsoft to clarify what Sony blocks. We haven't heard back from either company yet, and we don't expect either will comment on these explosive details. But we'll be watching the documents from the Blizzard Arcade carefully in the coming days to see if or how Sony responds to Microsoft claims. Well, that was an interesting read. And honestly, it looks, if you're looking past history, it does seem that Sony would do some type of things like that. Like I said in the article earlier, I read earlier that the class and the cross-platform, they were the only ones that were the ones who wanted anyone who wanted to do cross-play and such. They had to pay the Sony Sony tax and such, play a bit of a royalty for them to do the crossplay. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was some type of chicanery with with Sony doing the blocking rights to keep games off pass, especially something lucrative as Call of Duty for Sony and everything else, and PS5s and the PS4s and all that stuff. Would not surprise me. And that is, well, again, that could be one of these big issues. On the other hand, some would say, hey, this would cause Microsoft to have pretty much a de facto monopoly, having Call of Duty, they're the only ones to do Call of Duty. You don't need to own it, but you have Game Pass or whatever. You can just download it and just play it without really owning the thing, but only paying a subscription service for it. And that's a really, other than space, which I just recently bought like a little 4 terabyte thing for my Xbox. That's the only, I got an Xbox Series X. It's supposed to have it's pretty much almost filled up, by the way. So I bought like a 4 terabyte thing right there to I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be filled up. These games, man, they're too damn big and they're too fat, in most of these games, mostly on like the Xbox, the Xbox, PC, and PS, the Sony stuff. Switch though, playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, only like 16 gigabytes. When's the last time you had like one of these big AAA games on these systems had like only this is gonna be only 16 gigabytes? When's the last time? Let me just look at this. Let me just let's see. Oh man, what is that? Is that to me? And I have more fun. I know there's a little bit of slowdown in some of these games, but you know what? I don't care. I rather have a little bit of slowdown than I rather have a bit of slowdown and have a fun game, and they have 15 gigabytes instead of just having just look at this, man. Just the 15 gigabytes, and then you got like most of these Xbox stuff like 70, 70, 80, or like 150, 200, 300, 400 gigabytes, 500 gigabytes, and that's just, the base game, not even going with the DLC, the costumes, all that stuff. And that is it for the show. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. This is Duke CT. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all.